The final of the partypoker.net World Open 4 has arrived. 72 players have been whittled down to 6, each of whom is looking to inscribe their name alongside of former champions like Lee Nelson, Pippa Flanders, and Anthony Hardy, and cash that $250,000 winner's check. The money may come and go, but that trophy will gather a shine forever. Let's see who's playing. In seat number 1, Neil Badbeat Channing has $388,000 in chips. This Irish Open champion is in some kind of form and is primed to be a hit.
$250,000 is a lot of money by anyone's standards, and I can do some damage with that, I'm sure. I don't know. I only looked to the first prize. I don't even know what the other prizes are, and I want to win it.
In seat number 2, it's short-stacked Ryan Fronda with only $76,000 in chips. But he's made it here on a wing and a prayer and hopes to fly on to the top of the board.
There's one thing that I'm particularly good at. Most of my success in tournaments has come from short stack. So if I can play that well, which I am fairly good at, I've had a lot of experience with short stack, then yeah, it may pay for me today. It might be, all that experience might pay off.
In seat number 3, East London's Dixie Dean on $120,000 in chips. It's his first major televised final table, and he's got the confidence of 1,000 moons.
I've had a little study up on all the players that are there, and I know most of them anyway. And I'll be having a go. Watch this space. You'll be interviewing me for winning it. I'm telling you, I'm confident.
In seat number 4, it's Mr. Cool himself, Birmingham's Marc Goodwin, on $180,000 in chips. He's feeling very confident, primed to make maximum.
I don't play finals to climb the ladder of money. The money's important, but you just have to play to win, because the money's all at the top end, and winning it, you know, that's the prestige, and your sponsors are happy, so you need to win it.
Northern Ireland's Marty Smyth is in seat number 5. He's chip leader with $444,000 in chips. He's got the form to be favorite and his favorite to be in front.
There's a massive difference between like first place and like fourth place. You know, fourth, fifth, and sixth. There's not that much of a difference between them. So you know, my strategy will be to go for the win, go for the big prize, like first or second.
And finally, in seat number 6, it's Andy Get It Quietly Ward. He lets his game do the talking, and those razors sure fly fast.
I'm reasonably happy with 195,000, yes. I mean, I'm just glad to be here, really, with only 6 players left out of 72.
This is the prize money on the final table. It's big money. 6th place gets $20,000, $25K for 5th, $30,000 for 4th, but all the doughs in the top 3 spots. $60,000 for a 3rd place finisher, a cool $100 grand for the runner-up, and the winner takes $250,000 plus the trophy and immortality. 6 finalists coming to the table now, and I'm joined by Scally, John Kalmar, and Scally. I mean, you look around, very tough final table. As far as a favorite, do you look any farther than the 2 chip leaders?
I think you can't really look further than the 2 leaders at the moment. They've both got great stacks. However, we've seen it before. Nobody in this final is out of it. A quick double up, maybe 2 double ups. It's anybody's game. Nobody's safe and nobody's gone.
Looking at the chips on this table, yellow chips worth 1,000, blues are 2, reds 5,000, and the greens have come into play. Those lime green darlings worth 10,000 each. Blinds are starting at this final table at 2 and 4,000. There's 1.4 million chips in play, Scally, so nobody's in any danger early.
Nobody's in any early danger, although we do know when these blinds go open, it won't be long. Pressure will be building. Marty and Neil have got around about 80-90% of the chips in play here, so hoping that those two will basically put some pressure on early doors.
Maybe not all that. 90%, as you say, but quite a bit anyway. First raise from Marc Goodwin, and it's up to, I believe, 14,000.
It'll be interesting to see if Neil re-raises there, which he will do.
And this is an early dynamic big because, I mean, Channing will feel a need to sort of put Goodwin in his place, right?
Mark's going to be coming out very aggressive, and Neil needs to shut him down quickly.
44,000
There's no two ways about that. Mark's going to be aware that he's going to try and do that as well. And he may feel that he can get Neil to throw this away, or maybe Neil's just making a complete utter move.
It's 30,000 more to Goodwin. Does he have the kind of chips where a flop is an option?
He could pick out a flop here, hope to catch a 5 and get paid off heavily. You know, Mark's a canny character in these situations. He probably fancies he could outplay Neil on the flop anyway.
Is Goodwin good enough to know that Channing has just over cards and or not a big pair?
Most certainly. But the thing is with Neil, he's got a lot of chips and he can represent that big pair.
I'm all in.
All in?
As we see.
I mean...
This is just a massive call. Mark
My
may
pairs
think he's
considerably
ahead,
higher
but
than all of those
he's
as
probably
well.
not going to take the
Your
chance.
pairs considerably higher than all of
If he's
that.
against two
Why didn't you
over
roll one
spades
and
here,
Because I
you
think
know,
you hang yourself, and now I'm deciding whether you are
he's
actually hanging
an
yourself,
underdog.
or it is once again the golden Channing syndrome.
He's calling it.
That's probably one or the other.
I think you hung yourself. This is hand number 1. If Goodwin calls here, how strong will he be?
Mark's never calling this. He's literally just putting out there to Neil, look, if you're going to start making moves on me, I'm going to make you sweat.
Would Channing be playing aces, kings, or queens like this?
Quite possibly, but he could easily be playing pair of 8s, pair of 9s, pair of 10s like this. Mark can't possibly think he's ahead. At the very least he can put him on is maybe 2 over spades, in which case he's an underdog anyway.
And 44.
Goodwin's got 136k. He can fold and take that. He can move up the pay scale. He can still compete to win.
Scal, what do I do? Give me a signal.
Throw him away, mate.
I know what Scally does. Scally insta-calls.
He does his money.
He insta-calls.
Wow.
Oh, we got 2 9s.
I wouldn't think about it if that was all.
It'd be an awesome call if he was to make it, but I just cannot see how he can
Like
possibly
wings.
make this call.
No, don't think you got quite.
He doesn't need to. He's still got good chips. He's going to fancy playing the rest of the players on the table. He's certainly the most aggressive and probably the most experienced at playing flops.
And what is he thinking about?
Pass.
Oh, he's going to go in the bin. Well played, Mark. Unfortunately, you were behind. You were ahead. But you just can't really compete with that stack of Neils at the moment.
That's all I stopped.
Scally, when you look at the seating draw for this final table, is there any built-in advantages or disadvantages that you would have pointed out?
I'm sure Marty Smyth, I did notice Marty Smyth is now on Mark's left, which he'll be a lot happier about. The fact that Neil and Mark are at opposite ends of the table is going to be change things. Neither's going to be able to take control of pots before the other. You know, it's pretty much going to share the control.
Here comes the short stack Ryan Fronda. Now Fronda, of course,
Raised to 16,000 total.
just kind of limped in here. Oh wow, and Dixie Dean with the ace-king behind him.
These are all going in there now.
Re-raise.
Ryan's not going to fold this.
So you're saying this is just semantics until the chips get it in the flop?
This is just semantics, yeah, and
25,000.
everybody will be hoping for a chop pot.
Pass.
No built-in advantage here.
All in.
All in, call,
And an instant call.
and obviously it's Ryan Fronda all in. It's only about 1% of the times that this doesn't get split. It's a hard way to go out of a tournament, but it has happened.
I think they'll both be quite relieved to see each other with ace king there. Nobody wants to go out this early in a tournament. They'll just be hoping for a rainbow flop and then give us my chips back and we'll start again.
Uh-oh!
Come on, baby.
And it's Fronda all in. Dixie Dean with the free roll.
Well, I think this is pretty typical of Ryan's luck. I know he had some
Come
luck
on,
in the
baby. Get in
he
there.
had some luck in the semi-final
Sorry,
early on
Ryan.
with his tens, but he does seem to run a bit cold in these events. I'm sure it'll turn around for him in the future.
Well played, everyone.
Holy Toledo!
Sorry, mate.
No worries. Good luck to everyone, yeah?
And for Dixie Dean,
Good luck, yeah?
move up on the leaderboard. Quality 7, same hand, both players, but the suits play.
This tightens up the field a little bit and it actually puts Mark on the short stack. The blinds are still quite small. I'm pretty sure he won't be feeling the pressure just yet. But it'd be interesting to see how things work out.
You just don't expect to lose those coups. It's just devastating when you lose like that. Absolutely devastating.
Welcome back to the table. Marty Smyth still the chip leader, but Neil Channing only a farthing behind. And obviously the other mover, Dixie Dean. I mean, you talk, Scaly, about guys who are sort of unheralded, big final tables coming out of nowhere. There was John Duthie. At your final table, there was Jerry Yang at the World Series last year. Could Dixie be doing a Yang tonight?
You never know. He's got the chance. He's got the chips now. Any double up. And, you know, he'll be chip leader nearly.
Cool.
That's the spirit, boy. Like much better telly.
2 3s, 4s and 5s on this flop will make things interesting.
I'll tell you what, Channing looks really up for this. That's hit Goodwin.
Yep.
Check.
Unfortunately, it's hit Dixie as well.
Channing's got the club flush draw.
Check.
I fancy it though.
And of course, Neil's
8,000.
going to bet out now. Will Dixie re-raise this and try and
I've
be able to get off?
got a good record with clubs.
Now, I'm pretty sure Mark's just going to flat call behind him.
Well, how does Dixie being in the
Nice.
pot affect Mark's decision? Yeah.
Well, he's got to be worried about the diamonds. So
20,000
there's no,
more.
you know, he's probably in his interest to bet out there and try and get somebody off a flush draw. But the thing is that Dixie might think his hand's a lot stronger than it is, because if he thinks Mark may have a king as well, he may follow this up. Dixie certainly can't be re-raising this.
Pass.
Make a decision now. And is the decision to see what happens on the turn? Is the decision now to find out?
I think he'd probably flat call this and see what happens. I think he may actually think that Mark's got a flush draw.
Having a good think here.
He can probably work out he's behind here, to be fair. But the problem is it's not easy to throw away this top pair, especially when there's only a little pair out there. It's hard to actually, even though you're pretty sure they've got the 5,
Can
it's
please?
not always that easy convincing yourself.
Please.
Count these? Jesus. Thought I meant count that.
So they're both in the blinds here, remember. Either one of them could have a 5.
Push them towards you.
90.
She's stretching, like I can nearly see down the top. She's so far over
What
it.
do you think I left them there for?
I have the feeling that he's too steady to put his
98,000.
tournament on the line here, isn't he?
There's 120.
He's been tight thus far, but like I said, once you're in the final, he's starting to look at that first prize.
It's 20 actually.
Now, Mark could easily read this speech play as that he's got a 5 as well. Could easily be reading this as he's got a 5 as well. If Dixie was to push, this isn't an automatic call for Mark.
Really?
I can believe it. It's the sort of chat like that is quite often made by somebody who actually holds the hand. You know, who could quite easily have the 5.
Gee, you
I'd
wouldn't
be
want to get
very,
that.
very, very surprised if
I'm
Mark
on it.
I'm pretty
Oh
sure
my
he'll
God!
call, but it's not an instant call.
Oh my gosh!
Do not be surprised to see Mark throw this away.
Dixie's made some good speech play, you're saying.
I think the speech play, I'm not sure he realises he's made such great speech play, but
You know
Mark
what?
could easily
I
misinterpret
think
that.
100% you've got a 5.
100%, he says.
He may throw this away.
I think 100%
100%.
you've got a 5. And I've got a 5.
They said he's looking for that reaction. Now that's the last thing that Dixie wants to hear. Chuck him away, please. Nope, it's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Good call by Mark there. Good call by Mark. I don't know if Dixie's little reaction gave it away there, but he was definitely contemplating throwing those away.
Well, I mean, if Mark did think Dixie had a 5, the kicker, obviously, that he has is not very good.
No.
But he's 91% here, Goodwin,
Yeah.
to take out Dixie Dean.
I assure you, if a king comes now, we'll never ever hear the end of it.
Dixie, all in. And this is the final table.
And it's game on.
Well played.
Cheers.
Mr. Goodwin has chips, Mr. Channing has chips. We could see some fireworks today.
I swear to God, I thought they had a 5.
Scary things never seem so terrifying in hindsight. And now you get to watch these big explosions on the final table, Neil Channing. All this maelstrom started with your pesky little nonsense with the bluff.
Yeah, I like to sometimes throw a rock and run away, and I decided for some reason, I can't even really remember why, to limp on the button. I think it's basically because I think Marc Goodwin likes to play hands against me, and I thought I've got a nice little sort of I think I said 6-4 suited, and I thought, well, he's bound to call me if I raise. I'll just keep the pot small and try and hit something. So I limped in. Obviously this is got poor old Dixie into a lot of trouble. He's now had to limp in, he feels, because he's got a king 3 and it's only half a bet to him. Marc Goodwin's got a 5-4, the flop comes 5-5 and all hell breaks loose.
Now, I mean, Dixie took a lot of time with this decision, so you can't really say he made it in haste. How do you like his thought process?
Well, Dixie's got a king with a bad kicker, so he decides, and I think quite rightly, to check, see what Marc and I are going to do, find out some information for free, and then make a decision then. So I don't mind that. He checks, Marc checks, which he would do, I guess, if he got 3 5s. I decide I can't help myself from trying to steal it, and I bet 8,000. Dixie now decides that he's just going to flat call the 8,000. Now, at this stage, he could make a little raise and try and find out if his king's any good. But what he does is flat call, which opens the door up for Marc Goodwin. Dixie told me a couple of days ago, actually, funnily enough, for some reason we started talking about this hand, he told me that he'd watched Marc Goodwin in the semi-final and he thought he was full of moves. So when Marc Goodwin made a raise here, Dixie didn't necessarily give him a king or a 5, he thought he could be doing it with a flush draw or with absolutely nothing. So it could be a squeeze play for Marc Goodwin, and this is what Dixie's now wrestling with himself over. And he wrestles and wrestles and wrestles with himself so much that it looks almost like brilliant speech play, because Marc Goodwin's thinking, you know, this guy's putting on such an act of being worried and upset and not knowing what to do. He must have a massive hand. But at the end of the day, he's got 3 5s and it's just impossible to pass that hand. I had 1.7 million. I only put 180,000 into that pot with 2 5. I'd already put 50 in before he raised all in. It was an easy decision.
Nice premium hand for Goodwin.
It was a fairly minor pot.
Raise to 18,000
Will he
total.
find anything
They
to
made
play
a
with
good
him?
thing out of it.
Of course he will.
Can you make a big thing out of one out?
Well, I had to call for 20% of my
Andy
chips,
Ward
giving
choosing to
3
just call.
1
Now, he is in
and 5.
position, but certainly
that.
recognizing what, Scally? That
Well, I think he knows Mark's going to be firing at this flop regardless, and if he hits a piece, I think he's intending to re-raise on the flop.
Flat call is not in your book, is it? I've never seen you flat call since I've been playing with it.
I got some
Which is 2 days. You've never flat called. What happened to that one?
It's also a hand if he does re-raise and Mark chooses to
How much
go
more
all
than
in,
10?
he's going to have to throw away a very good drawing hand. In situations like this, it's a lot more
Call.
enticing just to peel off a flop and see where you are from there.
Yeah, I mean, Dixie said the same thing, Dan. I've never seen you just call before, but it is deep stacked, isn't it? There's a lot of
It is
implied odds.
There is deep stack. There's no panic to get it in, and now there's going to be some fireworks.
Check.
And this is huge stuff for Goodwin.
40,000.
And Mark's going to put out a big bet here, and I can only see Andy putting in a big re-raise.
Can Andy find a way to get away from this?
I know it looks like he's going to do a minimum re-raise, so it's possible.
Pass.
No,
Has he just called?
Yeah, he's just called.
He's just called. Wow.
And should that send out a message to Mark if Mark doesn't have a king?
Well, I think Mark's going to put him on a draw here. He's got to sit there. There's 2 spades on the board, 7-8 on the board. He may be a little worried about the set, but I don't think so. Now Mark's going to check this to him, and I think Andy's going to push in.
Check.
No.
Wow. There's
This is
137,000
very,
out
very
there.
cagey. I mean,
Ward wants to hit the queen.
I really think the guys should be a lot more
Check.
aggressive than this. They're giving each other far too much respect, especially when they know the range of hands each of them could be playing.
Mark is playing this hand not to go broke.
I think so. I think they may be looking at Dixie here and thinking, well, they can all move up a level and go from there. But now Mark's going to be in a great position chip-wise.
Goodwin said 3 7s. Even after the check on the turn, he still thought Andy was capable of having a monster. And you think Goodwin could have won more there, or?
I think he could have won a lot more if he re-raised. You know, if he bets out every street there, I think he takes it down. If he bets the turn, Andy's going to sit there and think, well, what am I going to do on the river? I might as well get all my chips in now.
These players have been giving Marc Goodwin a lot of respect, but I think sooner or later he's going to just start robbing them if they keep giving him that much respect.
Of course, somebody needs to
Raised
stand
to
up to him
17,000
and
total.
shut him down before he gets far too confident. I think this might be the time. Might not be the time if he does pick up a hand.
This has gone perfect for Dixie, and his stack is short enough that he may feel like he's got a couple options here.
Call.
Yeah. He just
Pass.
feels like he needs to get on with these, doesn't he?
Of course, yeah. I think if had he pushed, I'm
Pass.
pretty sure Neil would have called there with his chip stack. And Dixie's going to be right back in this.
Neil leading out and a little bit nose wrinkly. Has he smelled danger? Obviously, if the king or queen comes, it's going to be academic.
Well, we all know how good Neil runs, and he's not out of this hand yet.
All in and a call.
Yeah, not the hand Dixie wanted to see. Channing's a lot liver than you would think.
I'm pretty sure nobody will be taking bets on Neil to lose this.
Just about 2-1 against. Spade draw for Channing. Dixie all in with the bullets.
One more.
Well, luckily
I
for
sure think.
Dixie, there's a spade
Ace
will help
10
him out
spade.
there. So
Yeah.
any spade, any 10, any ace.
They all work.
And unfortunately not to
Okay.
be.
Well done, boys.
Board pairs the wrong way. Dixie Dean.
Hold on.
Bullets crack.
Good play. Cheers on George.
Neil could beat Channing hits
Thank
again.
God I never had the aces.
We're down to 4 players.
Because I'm involving the knee.
Dixie slow played trying to get on. Can't blame him. He was so short, and he got on and then got outdrawn.
Yeah, unfortunately he's played well. I think all the aggressive players are left now, and it'll be interesting to see who takes control.
Bit gutted, but Acey's got cracked by King Queen. What do you do? Neil Channing's lat is so warm you can't touch him at the minute. Should work in a sunbed shop.
Between these 4, can anything separate them? Neil's the tightest.
Neil's playing very tight at the moment. Marty, I mean, he's lost a few chips there through no fault of his own. He was a little unlucky finding ace-king to be all-in of Dixie before. And Andy again, I'm still in there with a great shot, double him up. You know, and literally any one of these 4 can win this.
So blinds up to 5 and 10,000 now. What do you think is the biggest argument right now for Channing taking his foot off the gas?
I'm not sure. I mean, he hasn't actually picked up a huge amount of hands. I think it is just a case of he's giving a lot of respect to the guys who are still on the table.
He could be over the top here, Andy Ward.
Yeah, and
they know how aggressive he is.
Is Marty going to call? He's seen some of the hands he's turned over, and Marty's beaten a lot of him. But does he want to get himself in? Does he want to put himself in big trouble? If he's wrong, he's going to lose a lot of chips.
Forgetting where Marty Smyth is now, how big is ace-8 compared to Ward's range here of the re-raising?
Well, Marty's good at throwing these hands away, but Marty's also aware that Andy's aware that he can throw these away. So he knows he's capable of making a move with nothing.
That close to calling, says
Yeah,
Marty.
He
is calling.
He's done it.
I don't know if he saw something he liked or just said, you know what?
Let's have it.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is Marty's got 200,000 behind and might have just think he needs to send a message to Andy about this either way.
It's a much easier call than if Andy had had over 200,000, the call would have been a hell of a lot more difficult.
Wow, look at this. Hearts. Andy Ward in pretty good shape right now. He's all in, but the heart comes, he'll be dancing on the table. And that is actually means the 8 plays in a lot of spots now, doesn't it?
Yeah, the 8's going to play unless he actually hits the heart of the 4.
Wow.
Ace, king, queen, 9, 8. And Andy Ward's out in 4th.
Can you believe that? He missed and he got worse.
He of the magic wave, Scally.
Give another 3.
But he waved once too often.
Yeah, and we're down to three players left, and certainly the most informed players at the moment, and probably the most experienced too.
$30,000 for Andy Ward, but this hand, the re-raise, Marty made a tough call there. Even though the flush draw came, the 8 was good.
It's not an automatic call, but I think he thought of the range of hands that Andy could have, and he's beaten quite a few of those. The amount of chips he's already put in the pot, he's thought, well, I'm not going to win this by folding.
One thing I've learned from playing poker, and especially tournaments, is not to worry too much about what might have been. So overall, over the whole thing, I'm absolutely delighted to finish 4th. I might be disappointed for an hour or two now, but that'll fade off and I'll be really pleased.
Come back. The action is high. The lights are hot. Very tight between the final 3.
Cross.
Yeah, arguably the 3 best players on the table. Certainly the 3 biggest money winners. They're all very good players. I can't honestly pick out a winner here. I think Goodwin with position on Neil, and Neil being the second most aggressive player of the 3. He's obviously going to be quite big.
Is this game going to be won on before the flop, on the turn?
I'd like to think that this game's going to be won on the flop. All three of these players can take flops. They don't panic. They don't need to get the chips in too early.
15,000.
You know, nobody wants to lose this tournament on a coin flip.
Channing has limped, checked the ace, and now betted on the turn. And Goodwin's sucking in with fourth pair now. And now Neil's
50,000.
It's quite a big bet there. I'm not sure Mark can pay that off. I think he would definitely pay off maybe 20, maybe 30.
Is he trying to look like he's bluffing with the and hoping Goodwin has tens or something?
It's
like
possible. It is possible. Thing is, I think Mark could have paid him off a small amount, hoping he had the flush draw or maybe a straight draw. But now I think that's probably too big a bet. But it won't be the first time I've been wrong. That's for sure.
You love in the final three of a tournament when the gets all the way to the river. It's time for a bet and a real dwell up. There's something about the way Channing has bet this, the way he's weighted this on the river, that's given Goodwin pause.
I think Mark's got him on a stone cold bluff. He really has.
Rice.
And this would be a call, but I think.
I mean, Channing's got him where he wants. Channing has bet this to look like a bluff.
Does he have a call in him? Can he work it out?
Obviously, that three made a couple of different things. It's made a backdoor straight.
The dwell up that Mark's done, though, I think he's got to sit there and think, well, Mark's actually had a big dwell up. He thinks I'm bluffing. He doesn't have much of a hand to call with, so he'd much rather re-raise. And by the looks of things, I think Neil seems to work this out pretty quickly.
And I mean, the deciding factor is that, or should it be, that Neil thinks there's no way he can put me on an ace here. I mean, it doesn't look like an ace.
Mark's played Neil before. He knows he'll check those hands. And Neil's very well aware that Mark knows his game.
This is a massive pot. This pot was just limp and check before the flop.
Well, these are the moves that we're hoping to see. We know everybody here is capable of making these moves. It's a great move by Mark. It's just whether Neil's actually going to fall for it.
And why has Mark made this move? I mean, what does he put Neil on to make this move? Do you think Neil was bluffing? And just
he could have easily
sure?
caught his second pair here. You know, there's no reason why Mark couldn't be sat there with two pair.
I thought I was good.
And he's talking himself out of the call.
It's all to do with the three then, is it? He's scared of looking at something like 10-3 or 7-3, isn't he? Wow. I tell you what, Channing's instincts are on form if he can call this.
Neil knows he should have bet out on the flop. He could have raised pre-flop. He sat there thinking, well, I might have let him catch up.
Oh, and Goodwin's done him!
Well,
Goodwin's gotten one on him!
That could be all the confidence that Mark needs now to actually go on and start putting some pressure on.
Where did Mr. Cool find that from?
I don't know. He obviously he doesn't realise that Neil actually had a hand there. I think he's got Neil on a bluff and he's made a great move. The one thing with poker is nobody actually knows how good they are. They may be lucky, they may be good. And you need a bit of an ego boost and somebody rubbing you on the back now and again and telling you are actually pretty good at this game.
It's good right now.
Cool. No raise.
First family pot we've had since they went three-headed.
20,000.
It is indeed, and
Cool.
20,000 bet and call. At this stage, Channing's kicker plays, but it's rather unlikely that'll continue.
I don't really see this one going to a showdown.
Check.
I think.
Check.
Neil with the spade draw, and he's hit it. It's made Goodwin two pair. And that's a blocking bet.
20,000.
Yeah, I think he's putting a little bit out there. I can't say Neil's certainly not going to re-raise. He'll just pay off the 20, say thank you very much, and be surprised to take the pot, I would have thought.
Such a little bet, he's thinking. What does it mean?
Cool.
Flush.
Marty's got to be sat there thinking, what trash are these two playing against me?
Now it's like, what we're paying for? $250,000. Oh.
How strong is the button three-handed? I mean,
it's massive. It really is big.
we're not seeing a lot of buttons folded.
No, and not
That is a good idea.
Nobody could ever borrow off me.
My money's there.
Off the table. I literally don't have another penny in the world.
That is a good idea. I never thought of that.
Check. 15,000.
Marty Smyth has
Call.
checked. He's checked middle pair and called it. Could have checked raised if he wanted to. Check called it.
He could indeed. There's another
Check.
diamond on there, so if Neil actually hits his straight and gives Marty the flush, if it,
Big mistake.
I don't know, a jack of diamonds should hit this river or a 6 of diamonds, then I don't see how Neil's getting away from this.
Check.
Channing was debating a bet
Betting
on the
again.
turn. He's taken the free card.
There's the jack.
Check.
Perfect.
Marty's not going to go any further with this, I don't think. It'd been interesting for a jack of diamonds there to see what
70,000.
would really happen.
Channing's decided to
Cross.
make a bet. I don't know if that bet was made to get called or what. Obviously,
Well,
he
you
wanted
want a
to
10
get
with ace
called.
queen.
But must have tried to look weak, I guess.
Yeah, I think he's trying to look weak there, but there's a lot of hands that Marty's putting Neil on there that's beating him.
Roland has a good one for that. He often says to people after a
Pass.
hand, he says, well done on being dealt that hand. Congratulations on being dealt that hand. I really like that. A lot of it is just stupid,
Call
isn't it?
and
I mean, it's
raise.
just like whoever gets the best hand wins quite a lot of the time.
Congratulations on being dealt that hand.
Oh my lord, is
well.
that all? Now, if a king comes on the turn here, this will be very fun.
Bring
Very
the trophy in on a
Check.
wheelbarrow.
Check.
He's managed to keep a straight face, Channing.
Now you know. Oh my no!
Oh
35,000.
no! Oh no!
This is the end of it, I
It's
think.
not fair.
How can Mark possibly lose the minimum chips in this situation? And Neil is going to be absolutely over the moon to see Mark reaching for chips here. He really will be over the moon.
Raised. 35,000 more.
I mean, Channing could go all in here, and doesn't Goodwin still have to call? Just hope they get us a split.
I would
five.
suspect so. I would suspect so. But it'd be interesting to see if Neil just flat calls and checks it back. If he doesn't, Mark might smell her out then and check it behind.
They're 20s, yeah. Okay.
I think if Neil does go all in, which he may well do, I can't see Mark getting away.
And if you're sitting there and you're chanting, I mean, obviously. Overall, what's the?
Did you see that little look?
Overall, what's the best way to get paid?
I think if he goes all in here, don't give Mark a chance to get away. If he goes all in here, I'm pretty sure Mark's calling. If Mark's bluffing, he's not going to get anything off him on the river anyway. So if he pushes it, it's all in now, which he has done. He's recognised this.
Oh, dearie me.
Mark's out there thinking you cannot possibly be so golden that you have the 10. And of course he's wrong.
They're just sitting there talking about how Channing is getting dealt the hands, and with that, 4 of a kind on the flop, and Goodwin hits the top full house on the river.
Well, we knew Akula was going to do it, and unfortunately for Mark, it's not his day.
Holy Toledo! He's got a horseshoe in 7 places.
I don't feel he's got the beating of me. I just feel he has to get lucky and his luck's going to run out and then maybe it's my turn.
180.
It's a coronation.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Throw roses
And the only
down
other
the
one I played,
ivory.
I was like a
How
big
would you
chip leader
feel
with,
right
like,
now,
60
Scally,
people
if you are
that
Marty
blow up.
Smith? I mean, he has played great in this tournament, great
that was
today,
good.
but he's
Quite
looking
a
over
of it.
at a guy
He must
who
be
could
general
only be
loser.
called a monster.
Well, what do you do? I mean, Neil's just running
had a bit of a
so
bargain
well at the
on
moment.
Kalmar
He's
as well.
playing so well. He's so
850
confident.
runs, I had
You know,
double the
you're
average with
just going to be sat there and just happy to get heads up with him in second. You know, you can't write Marty off, but he's going to have to wonder what he's going to do to beat this guy.
That said, there's still a lot of play left in this, and if you want to pick a guy to send into a heads-up, no-limit hold'em situation, you wouldn't mind Marty Smith. But Channing, more than twice as many chips. With all the confidence in the world?
All the confidence in the world. The guy's a great heads-up player. You know,
It didn't make sense for
Marty's
Neil.
a great heads-up player too. You just, I mean, if the chips are even, it could go either way, but at the moment you really have got to favour Neil. He's on fire.
Yes.
What a year he's had.
Raise to 60,000 total.
Neil Channing has not come over the top of Marty Smyth yet.
Not yet, but maybe
Not
this
heads
is the
up.
one.
Re-raise?
And he has re-raised, and I can't see Marty throwing this away. He may push these all in, and Neil may have to pass.
110,000 more.
We could be seeing the new chip leader after this hand.
All in?
Wow.
Now Neil's too experienced to call this. He's going to sit there. He's going to realise his heads up. We've both got similar chips.
85, 45.
You know, why take a gamble?
Don't worry, don't worry.
If
Oh,
I'm
sorry,
lucky,
no,
I'm a 50.
I counted mine, so it's virtually.
That's total, by the way, not.
I think that'll see the chip
That's
lead
the one
change
to
over.
measure.
No.
Oh, right.
Oh, he's hating this. Channing
So
is
it's,
hating this.
7, 5.
So I've got like 7 left, and there's like 3 odd in there, so 370. Oh,
Trying to figure out the price and trying to put Smyth on a range.
He may be sat there thinking, I'm struggling to beat this guy heads up with small pots. Do I need to take one of these gambles? You know, I'm sure he's going to pass. He has passed. You know, it's.
I think it must be.
But I'm sure it's
Yeah,
crossed his mind that I'm not
Right.
coming off best with this little heads-up battle. You know, is this the time to gamble?
Yeah.
The answer is no.
See how you can be 50-50. You call if you're 50-50. So.
Yeah,
And look who's the chip leader now.
Queen?
Jacks.
Look who's the daddy now. Marty Smyth. There ain't much in it, but
Level now.
Marty must feel like,
Timing.
wow,
They're all
what has he
roughly level,
done?
more or
Oh, I
less.
think the body language is obvious there. Neil's feeling like he struggled during this heads-up.
Are you going to gamble?
Marty's just growing
250 a
confidence
month,
as
quite a
time
big
goes
gap.
by.
Play for 2 and 150 or something.
Nah, I want to gamble.
You're
Sick.
650 or something.
I'm a sick man. I can't help it. I'm deranged.
Oh,
65.
Raise to
is he getting an
65,000
action this
total.
time? He may peel off a flop. He may peel off a flop. He's got a few more chips now,
Oh.
and he is indeed.
You
And,
call?
yeah, Marty's called. This is the, I think this is the
Wow.
first time
It's the first time
that
you
Marty has
haven't
really
gone all
decided to
in.
peel off a raised flop.
Well, this is
Looks
the
like
first
I'm
time he's had the chip
re-raised
lead.
Apart from you either pass or go all in.
Oh, he's hit a piece of that,
Okay.
but he's hit the small end. I don't see Marty committing a great deal of chips from here on in.
65,000.
Channing checked a flop like that with the same hand against Goodwin, but heads up just completely different.
Yeah, he's trying to get a bit of action.
Raise.
Oh, and he has found some action. And I think the chip lead's going to be swinging back towards Neil this way,
I'm all in.
this time.
All in?
I'll raise this much.
Yeah, that was.
He was a bit uncharacteristic there
Pass.
from Marty. I think he
Let's
might
raise
have
to 230,000.
flat call normally.
All in.
It's all genuine business. I found a big hand.
Quite often we've seen him throw those sort of hands away and
In
not
bad
really get
shape, you
involved.
weren't
It's
in bad
amazing how much a few chips can change your
Some kind of
tactics.
draw. Ace 9.
The quick all in from Channing, and he has gotten that chip lead right back.
We're exactly where we started right at the start. I think there's
Amazing.
you know, the body language will change straight away.
Welcome back to the partypoker.net World Open 4. We are heads up. Isn't Channing at a point now where he's thinking
Raise.
time is running out for Marty and I'm going to start?
Uh-oh.
Time may have really run out for Marty Smyth here.
60,000 more.
Now, only flat call. He may actually flat call this, try and trap Marty. You know, this could be the situation where he can get paid if he re-raises.
Call.
Oh my gosh, you're right,
Just
Scally.
in case.
Yeah, he's been struggling to get paid off with these re-raises, so he's
never
hoping
know
for a
what
low
much
flop.
He's going for it all here.
And if this comes 10 high, I feel the worst.
Check.
Check.
Marty may be tempted to make a move here. I hope he doesn't, but he may be tempted to make a
120.
move.
Channing is holding open the door.
And Marty's actually running.
Raised. All in and a pass.
And that was clever stuff by Channing to get paid there, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what he's got to do. He's going to have to, you know, trap the guy in them situations. You know, if you can take a few more chips off Marty here, I think we'll be seeing the screw really turn.
And I mean, Smyth feels it. He knows he has to prepare himself for the all-in.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. And you know,
Raise.
He's not backing
he
off.
may
these.
even commit with this. He may commit with this, and it looks like
60,000
looks
more.
like this could be the last hand. I think with the chip stacks as they are, Neil's definitely going to re-raise. He'll take a race here, and it all depends on whether Marty will.
I'm just taking his time here. Is this the one? Is this one I want to go?
Cool.
No,
Call.
he's just going to flat call again.
Wow. What's up with that?
There's absolutely nothing up with it at all.
Do you think,
I'm
you
a
think
little
he might be
surprised.
stop and go?
Maybe just hoping to catch a 7 and just finish it off. Who knows? If it's a stop and go, it's going to be a mistake.
Where does he put Smyth? Put him on the ace? Does he
I
put him
think
on
he's
the
gone
ace?
for a stop and go here, and one thing's for sure: Marty's chips will be across the felt quicker than you like.
Check.
Check.
That long check.
All in.
I'll pass.
Pass.
Yeah.
And Channing has managed to only lose 60 in a spot where it looked like Marty Smyth was about to double up. It
You
looked
definitely
like
called me
that.
pre-flop.
It's one of them guys,
Call.
Neil, that, you know,
No worries.
he looks
No raise.
he looks so normal that you don't realize that he's a complete lunatic. I mean,
Yeah, there's
such a wild heart beats beneath that exterior.
there's quite an evil mind ticking away behind there, isn't there?
Check.
Check.
40.
40,000.
Sometimes you get the feeling a guy with a propeller on his head is going to climb out of his suit.
It'll be interesting here. Will Neil get stubborn with this ace 9? He's
Call.
probably sat there thinking, I probably should have raised this pre-flop. And now he wants to stay in the pot with just ace high.
He can't go past the turn, can he?
It'll be interesting.
I mean, Smith's not loving his hand now. He might take a free card.
I think they'll both take a free card.
100.
100,000.
This is weird.
But
This is
Marty does have
weird.
the queen of diamonds here. He could easily make a move.
What can he?
No.
What can he put Neil on here? Can Neil have a king? Can Neil have a jack? Could he?
Maybe he could put him on the flush here. I don't think he'll put him on the jack because, you know, recent form would dictate that Neil would have re-raised that.
Come on.
Can he put him in a
Raised
flush? And he
all in.
obviously doesn't.
That's
Oh
a
my word.
beautiful raise by Marty, wasn't it?
Now we're going to see the momentum switch
he
again.
worked it out beautifully. I don't know what he worked out.
I think he's trying to work out what hands
he
has he got
probably
there
had a
that he
jack.
could check call. Maybe a 6. Maybe a straight draw.
I'll pass.
Pass.
But the reality is all the hands that have done that are unlikely to be able to call.
Yuck.
That was the first hand that it looked like Marty really had the bead on Channing. These guys are playing poker, and I mean, what a treat it's been to be able to watch this stuff. You know, we've seen every card. I mean, this is great.
It's been great. We've seen some great
Cool.
moves. We've seen some great folds, and personally think it's one of the best TV finals I've seen.
If you're pricing it right now, I think you give Channing a
No raise.
slight edge just because he's so lucky. But beyond that, I mean,
Because he's completely golden.
beyond that, I think it's dead even. I mean,
Yeah, I think Marc Goodwin will think that Neil's just nailed on right from the start here.
60.
60,000.
well, Marty could make the push.
He may make a move. Last time he tried this move, he run into a brick wall though, so he may be more inclined to try and peel one off here.
It's just what's the chance of Channing leading out here with the jack? What's the chance of it?
There's a
Call.
flush on the board. Why not? I certainly would lead out. I don't agree with giving free bets away.
200k in the pot right now. What has that card done? Channing has to fire another bullet to win.
Check.
Check.
Well,
Check.
if he does have the jack, he might check that. So, bingo card for Marty.
Wow, it's made him a straight.
Will Neil make a move?
He was talking before about making the all-in bluff. He was talking about.
Check.
No, can he put a little bet in here and get Neil to buy?
Good.
I don't think so. No, definitely not.
Just the pot is so big.
140,000.
I mean, if Channing was going to make a play.
Plus.
Wow, he got way to get away from that.
He could have easily had Marty on a flush draw there. And he did well not to give Marty a few more chips.
I intended to. Change my mind. Stick with Old English. I think you're right. I'm going to be better.
Go on.
Do I need to trap it again? I'm pretty sure.
Oh my gosh!
No. This could be it. This will probably be
That's
it.
definitely it.
This will be it.
120,000.
Neil's going all in, and Marty's not throwing
He's
this
not
away.
going to believe it. And this is the first time.
But we know how well Neil runs, and I could assure you that Marty will be just as nervous.
Yeah, we have.
And I think
wait,
Marty's
yeah,
got more chips here.
Considering everything.
This is for it all.
This is for the lot.
A6, I think I would have called, you know.
Really?
After talking, yeah.
Nobody will be riding Neil off at this
If I do
stage,
it
though.
quickly, I think you pass. I got to do it.
Marty Smyth. He's going to be the World Open champion.
But after the talking,
I wasn't
stuff.
quite. I had to add up and see whether your pot could.
Well, I think whoever would have won this would more than deserve it. It's been a great tournament,
Very
good
nice.
heads-up battle,
Well played, Marty.
This is bad luck to do this.
and it's over.
Wow.
Enjoy
And
it.
what a worthy
Yeah.
winner. I mean, that was a heads up
It's the first time I've
for
been
the
here, someone hasn't
ages.
had total
I think it was a
wasn't a
masterclass of
crap
heads-up,
shoot,
really, in this
I
sort
don't
of
know. I didn't-
format of tournament,
Got that way at the end, but
and
it
it's just a shame one of them had to lose.
What a treat that was. What a match. What a heads up. And congratulations, Marty Smyth. You are the champion. I mean, that was a battle there.
Yeah, it was. A lot of the time I've said to Neil, sorry, a lot of the time when you get to this stage of these tournaments, it's a bit of a crapshoot, but there was actually still a lot of play left, and we got heads up. I really enjoyed the game, you know.
I mean, after fighting and fighting, the blinds so low, you finally got to level. And then the very next hand, it was like, bam.
Yeah.
What did you tell yourself?
It was kind of the same plan the whole way through, you know. I know Neil's a fairly aggressive player. Some people don't think so, but I know he is, you know. So I kind of had to fight fire with fire a little bit, you know. And, I don't know. I didn't really have any plan for getting heads up because I didn't really expect to get heads up. But I just kind of played it by ear.
Neil Channing, commiserations, but what a tournament and what a performance.
Yeah, it was great tournament. I really enjoyed all about the last, popping about the last 20 minutes of it. It was fine, really. I must admit, when I was watching the other semi, I like Marty a lot, but I was kind of hoping he wouldn't get through. I always thought he was going to be like a real tough opponent, yeah, I did think at the start of the final that it might well end up being Marty and myself heads up, you know.
Well, Marty, and now you've got the trophy, you've got the cash, you've got the title.
Yeah, the trophy means a lot. I think up until last year, all I had was a medal that I won on the Skilled Sports Day when I was about 9 years old, and now I've got 2 trophies to go beside it.
Well, congratulations again, Marty. Marty Smyth is our World Open 4 champion. Neil Channing, our runner-up. A fantastic tournament. The quality of the field, the quality of the final, the quality of the play. Join us next time on the partypoker.net World Open.
That's winning. Yeah.
Go on, Bash him in.
Look at the ears. Look at the ears, they're tweaking.
When you get caught bluffing, you lose the pot. You didn't show enough.
I haven't even looked.
Wow. Finally get some respect. What chance?
Unreal, man. You want to see?
Yep.
No, that was lying.
Justice, come on, where are you?
Go on, baby, get in there.